Hi, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. I wanted to share my pearl of wisdom today. It's actually a few pearls, and it's all from that same book of Rebbetzin Henny Machlis, this wonderful woman who made Aliyah, moved to Israel, had a huge family, and opened up her home to hundreds of guests every single Shabbos, every weekend. And so a book was put together with many stories of her life after she passed away. And I found a few short pearls that I wanted to share. One of them was she used to teach girls, and one student wrote how she came in 45 minutes after the class started, and Henny would look at her and say, "You came just on time, perfect timing." That she never wanted to make somebody feel bad, that no matter when they walked into class, she would look at them and say, "You came just on time." That's a very powerful message about how to treat another person. So I loved it. And then another story that a student said, Henny claimed was her favorite, which was from this Rabbi Zusha, who said that after 120, when we pass away, the heavenly court is not going to say, "Rabbi Zusha, why weren't you like Moses?" They're going to say, "Zusha, why weren't you like Zusha? Why didn't you fulfill your greatest potential?" So Hannah used to tell that story often, and the students said, the message was really, we have to be our best. No one's going to say, why weren't you like Henny? They're going to say, why weren't you like you? Why weren't you the best you? So another very powerful message that we have to be the best version of ourselves, so that when we go upstairs, when our life is over, we can honestly say we did our best. And a third story that I saw that was very nice was this man had eaten by this Machlis family many years before when he was single. And now he was living in Toronto and married. And he went to synagogue Friday night. And as he was leaving, he noticed a person sitting on the bench, obviously homeless. And he went over to him. First, he said he thought to himself, what would the Machlis family do? And he realized that they would invite him. So he walked over to the man and said, "Would you like to come to us for a meal?" And the man turned his head and said, "Don't speak to me again." And the man went home, and he had a house full of guests, and his wife was waiting. And he said, "Good Shabbos." And it really bothered him. He said, "Listen, there's a man outside. I'm going back. Because every time I say to myself, what would Rabbi Machlis do? I hear the message he would invite him." So he said to his wife, "I'll be right back. Just give me a few minutes." And he walked back to synagogue. He sat down next to the man. He says that Rabbi Machlis taught him that before you want to speak to someone, ask permission. So he said to the man, "Can I ask you a question? Listen, I have a lot of company, and I have amazing food, and we have room in our house. Please come to us. Be our Shabbos guest. You can sleep over. You can have a wonderful Shabbos. We'd be so happy to host you." And the man turned around and said, even louder, "I told you never to speak to me again." So this man walked back home, and he was upset, and he just kept thinking about it. And by now, he got home, and he was sopping wet because it had started raining. And he said to his wife, "I don't know what to do. I really don't feel good. You know what? Start the meal without me. I'm going back," because that's what Rabbi Machlis would do. And he went back to synagogue, but this time he went around the back door because he knew upstairs there was a very wealthy family catering, having an event, and it was being catered. So he went to the hostess of this event, and he said to her, "Would you mind? There's a homeless man outside. Would you send him some food?" And she said, "Gladly." And he went outside, this man, and he hid behind a bush to see what would happen. And a few minutes later, one of the waiters took out a whole tray with food and grape juice for Kiddush and challah. And he saw how the man got so excited with a big smile, and he jumped up and he went inside to eat the food. So this man went home and he felt really good, but it didn't stop there. He made arrangements with the synagogue that every Friday night this man would have a place to sleep. And he made arrangements on a rotating basis that 3 women would be preparing food for him every Shabbos, so he would never have nothing to eat again. And a few weeks later, some people in the synagogue noticed that this man's skin was very white, and they rushed him to the hospital, and they actually saved his life. He had some sickness. So this man from Toronto says, had I never eaten by the Machlis house, I never would have learned this lesson, and this story never would have happened. This man never would have been saved. So just 3 little pearls of wisdom, nuggets, all wrapped into one, and I hope you get something from each one of them. Thank you. God bless. Have a great day.